All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about the professional toolkit, the standards and tools that make sure modern PHP apps are not just functional, but truly solid and ready for the real world. So, you've probably got a handle on how frameworks and Composer help organize your projects. But what happens when that project starts to grow? And I mean really grow. How do you keep the code from turning into a tangled mess? That's the real challenge, and that's what we're diving into now. Well, think of it like this. Your first line of defense is a team of automated guardians for your code. These tools are like tireless sentinels, patrolling every line you write, hunting for problems before they ever have a chance to blow up in production. Welcome to the world of static analysis. The key phrase here, the absolute game changer, is before it is run. See, unlike your typical tests that actually have to execute the code, static analysis just reads it. It's like an architect checking the blueprints of a building for flaws before a single brick is laid. It spots those sneaky logical errors or type problems that could bring everything crashing down later. It's all about being proactive. When it comes to static analysis in PHP, you've got three heavy hitters. First up is PHPStan. It's brilliant for sniffing out bugs, and its rule levels mean you can ease it into your project without getting overwhelmed. Then there's SOM, which is a beast when it comes to type safety. It can even do something called taint analysis to find security holes. And finally, you've got Phan, which is all about precision. Its main goal is to be super accurate and avoid crying wolf with false alarms. And you know what? Getting started is way easier than you might think. Seriously, once you've pulled in a tool like PHPStan with Composer, it's literally just one command. You point it at your source code, hit enter, and boom, it's off to the races, scanning everything and telling you exactly where the problems might be. So here's the bottom line. The best way to think about these tools? They're your tireless 24/7 code review partner. That second set of eyes that catches all the little things you might miss, the things that only show up at 3 a.m. on a Saturday. They find the issues long before your users do. All right, so our code is clean, it's verified, it's solid. Awesome. But let's be real, no application is an island. It has to talk to other services, right? And that's our next big topic. How does our PHP app connect to the rest of the world? This is all about external integrations. I mean, think about it. Your code is secure, but how does it actually talk to anything else? It needs to pull data from an API, maybe ping another microservice, or connect to who knows what out there on the internet. How do we make that happen and, not have it break all the time? For a long time, the old reliable tool for this was curl. It's built right into PHP, it's super flexible, and it gets the job done. But as applications got more complex, a new champion emerged, Guzzle. It's a modern, object-oriented client that just makes everything simpler. It wraps up all the messy parts of making HTTP requests and gives you a really clean way to work, especially with things like middleware. And here's a little taste of what that classic curl approach feels like. You're basically setting up the request step by step. Okay, here's the URL. Now tell it to return the data. Now run it. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly powerful, but you can see how it gets a little wordy once you start adding headers and post data and authentication. It works for sure, but it can become a lot to manage. And this is the really cool part. These tools, whether it's curl or Guzzle, elevate PHP. It's not just a language for building websites anymore. It becomes the central hub, the bridge connecting all these different systems and APIs together to create one seamless experience. Okay, so our code is clean and it's connected. We're almost there. But there's one last crucial piece of the puzzle. How do we make sure that when different parts of the PHP world talk to each other, they actually understand each other? We need a universal language, and that's where standards come in. Meet the PHP FIG. That stands for the Framework Interoperability Group. Basically, it's like the United Nations for PHP frameworks. Smart people from all the big projects, Laravel, Symfony, you name it, get together and agree on a set of common rules. The whole point is so you can take a component from one project, say a logger, and have it just work with a component from a completely different one. And the way they do this is with something called PSRs, PHP Standard Recommendations. Just think of them as the official rulebook for modern PHP. You've got rules for the basics, like how your code should look, that's PSR 1 and 12. Then you have rules for specific jobs, like a standard way to handle logging or a standard way to autoload your classes. There are even PSRs for standardizing how we build and use HTTP clients, which ties right back into what we were just talking about.
So, if there's one thing to remember about all this, it's this. PSRs are the grammar of modern PHP. They're the shared conventions that let everyone write code that speaks the same language. When you follow them, your code isn't just making sense to you, it's making sense to the entire global PHP community.
And there you have it. From static analysis making our code safe, to HTTP clients connecting it to the world, to PSRs making sure it all speaks the same language. That's the trifecta. That's the secret sauce for how modern PHP stays so incredibly reliable. But having code that is clean, standard, and reliable, that's just the beginning. The next big question is, how do we make it fast? How do we squeeze out every last drop of performance and track down those tricky bugs? Well, that's exactly where we're going next. Continue your journey with PHP, performance optimization, and debugging tools. This is Developer Roadmaps. Map your path, build your career.